Yo, this Big Illinois 73, host of the Backyard Podcast, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time on the Built for This network. Check us out. Hosted by yours truly, with my panel, my fam. We got the sister Kim Webb, the brother Dre MC1, the brother Anuliel, and the brother HRap B. No topic is off limit. We laugh and joke. We get serious. Try to be informative. Check us out. Once again, that's the Backyard Podcast, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Let's go.
It's your boy D Greatest from South Central. Tune in on Sunday for Sunday Night Love Jones, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And on Mondays for Monday Night Love Jones, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for good music, good conversation, and good vibes. It's all about the love. Yeah, man.
Yo, this is Afro, a.k.a. All Flows Reach Out, and you're listening to Built for This network. Yes, sir. From the building, stay bomb.
Greetings, brothers and sisters, family and friends. I'm your minister of wellness. Let's talk about 8 types of squash, a delicious superfood. Let food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food. There's no need to whine and cry and complain. No need about what we can't eat and we can't drink or eat nothing. That's a rambling of an insane food zombie. And if you all ever want a good laugh, just go to Phil's channel, African Diaspora News channel, and scroll through my videos when I tell people what not to eat. And it's comical. It's comical and sad at the same time. And I'll tell you all once, I'll tell you again, do not argue with an insane food zombie. These people, when it comes to food addiction, not in life, but not in other areas of life, which you can't be much in life without your health. But when it comes to health and wellness and food addiction, their brain their logic is like having a brain the size of a pea or a grain of salt. So don't argue with an insane food zombie. Don't go in there. I know you want to defend me. Don't do it. And most of y'all do a good job of doing it. Leave them people alone. Let them ride the death train and let them continue to watch my videos and heap coals of fire on their head. They sit there and get all that truth from my videos and still combat every single thing that I say. Just let them be, brothers and sisters. They have to ride that course and ride the death train, and prayerfully they'll wake up before the virus that's going to kill 80% of the population is released or developed, or cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. But most of them, that won't be the case. They'll succumb to that. You're one of the great ones watching these type of videos. So I commend you all, because a lot of you all, you'll see them, but you just go ahead and you heed to my wisdom when it comes to all we can do is just live our lives and shine our light. But this is part 96. Plenty to eat. plenty to eat, and we can still live a long life in excellent health. We can still reverse disease, still be lean, still be healthy, even in the toxic Babylonian United Snakes of America with 3 Ks of a society that we're living in. All praises to the Most High for that. A squash, literally meaning eaten raw, uncooked, is a fruit. It's actually a fruit that grows on vines. Squash is a fruit. It's native to North America. And although it's technically classified, again, it is a fruit. It is treated as a vegetable in cooking. There are different types of squash, brothers and sisters, shapes, colors, and tastes to general varieties of the summer squash and the winter squash. Their main difference lies in the skin. Summer squash is harvested before the fruit fully matures, which makes the skin and the rind more tender. Winter squash, on the other hand, is harvested late in its life. This results in a thicker and tougher rind that ensures its survival in frosty conditions. Compared to summer squash, winter squash has a longer shelf life while being less edible. And here are 3 types of the summer squash. The summer squashes are yellow squash. Yellow squash itself has specific varieties, such as crook neck and straight neck squash. It is characterized by a bulbous bottom that tapers towards the top. Furthermore, it is rich in potassium, containing the mineral far more than even a banana given the same serving. Potassium is a mineral that plays a vital role in muscle function, fluid balance, and nerve function. If you're on dialysis, you won't be able to do the squash because of the potassium. So you're going to have to call 888-847-8026 and book a consultation. Yellow squash has a mild flavor and a slightly creamy texture when cooked. It can be sauteed, grilled, or baked, or used as the star ingredient in casseroles. The second type of summer squash is zucchini, deep green with elongated shape. Zucchini is a high versatile variety that can be cooked in many ways, from grilling, sauteing, steaming, baking, and more. Zucchini tends to take on the flavor of its accompanying spices. It's also a terrific low-carb substitute for noodles or fries. Just cut zucchini into thin ribbons with a spiralizer to have your carbohydrate source. And the third type of summer squash is patty pan squash, simply called patty pan. This variety is similar than other varieties. It resembles a spaceship with scallop-like grooves. Furthermore, it comes in various colors: white, yellow, green, a yellow mix. And all of these varieties have their own benefits. That's the point of being a nutritarian. Again, the pea brain insane food zombies. Their arguments are stupid. There are varieties even within these varieties. You can never, ever, you can eat a different fruit or vegetable every day of your life, and it will be impossible for you to consume all of the medicine foods. And you can have a different recipe every single day. You could literally have a different recipe. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, nutritarian, eating to live every single day for the rest of your life, even if you live to be 120 years old. Patty pan is low in calories and packs in many vitamins and minerals such as vitamin C, folate, manganese. It also has trace amounts of fiber and protein. People trying to lose weight might want to try this variety as it makes you feel fuller on fewer calories. I have 3 announcements, very important, that I have to go over in every single video in the month of October. Just bear with me because we have new people listening to these videos each and every day. My last event is Saturday, October 31st. Saturday, October 31st, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, Center for Divine Love Church, St. Louis, Missouri. 2 ways to attend this event. In person, if you're coming in person, I love to see you. That's highly recommended. Way more powerful than live stream, but you have to register. Femalecastration.eventbrite.com. Anybody that wants to attend or that's coming with you has to register their own email, femalecastration.eventbrite.com. For the private live stream, it's easy. I just need you registered for the daily recipes Monday through Friday. I just need you on my general email list. I send out recipes Monday through Friday, Friday desserts. That link is in the description box and pinned comment section. Do not register at femalecastration.eventbrite.com unless you are 100% sure you can attend in person. If not, as long as you're getting the emails for the recipes Monday through Friday, you will be sent the private link to view the live stream. Get your organic sea moss and your astragalus in my immune support herbal extract. These are the two most popular. It's very important for me to announce these. The reason why I decided to find my own high quality and slap my label on it, which I'm very careful about doing, is because by my research that most of the stuff out there that you may get for cheap is fake. Organic, heavy metal tested, the Minister of Wellness label and approved. Get as much as you need for yourself and your loved ones. TheMinisterofWellness.com, TheMinisterofWellness.com, 888-847-8026. You need help placing an order. Any questions, comments, or concerns, 888-847-8026. And then lastly, this is the last month I'm doing health coaching, October 2020, and I'm going to try to take off from health coaching the rest of the year. So get your health coaching in this month so I can help propel you through the rest of the year. Also, free assessments are available if you need to just have it. You just have a few basic questions to ask or things about the online store, what's best for you. Free assessments, 888-847-8026, health coaching and free assessments. And then we have 5 types of winter squash. Pumpkin, best known for its use as a Halloween decor and a dessert. Pumpkin has a mildly sweet taste, which makes it perfect for both savory and sweet dishes. Its seeds are also edible when cooked. One way to enjoy the seeds is by roasting and seasoning for a filling, healthy snack. Pumpkin is also rich in antioxidants, alpha and beta carotene. These two nutrients are both precursors to vitamin A, which is important for eye health. Moreover, pumpkins are a good source of potassium and vitamin C. Then we have acorn squash. As its namesake indicates, this squash looks like an acorn. It has a thick green rind and an orange flesh. It is loaded with vitamin C, B vitamins, magnesium, as well as fiber. Although commonly used in soups, acorn squash can also be roasted with a savory stuffing. Spaghetti squash, number 3. Spaghetti squash has roomy interior whose flesh resembles spaghetti when cooked, and coupled with its low calorie content is one of the best alternatives to pasta. It also has a mild flavor that pairs well with other ingredients. The 4th type of winter squash is kabocha squash. It's a Japanese pumpkin. It's used in soups and other applications, while its skin is also edible when fully cooked. People describe its taste as a cross between a pumpkin and a potato, and is very rich in antioxidants, vitamin C, provitamin A, among others. And then last but certainly not least is butternut squash, an excellent source of antioxidants. Butternut squash has a pale rind and orange flesh. It tastes sweet and has a rich texture, which translates well into soups such as risotto or ganache. It can also be used as baby food. Like other varieties, butternut squash is rich in antioxidant, beta carotene, and vitamin C. Squash has many varieties and are packed with nutrients. And as the list shows, it can also be cooked in many wonderful ways, and I will include a squash recipe in yet another segment, the 96th segment in Let Food Be Thy Medicine and Medicine Be Thy Food. Enjoy the recipe, hit the notification bell, subscribe if you have not subscribed, like, and share this video. We're going to keep on going, brothers and sisters, until I have 1,000 different medicine foods of God covered. And I hope these videos are being a blessing to your life. For more recipes, get one of my books, TheMinisterofWellness.com. Besides signing up on the email list, TheMinisterofWellness.com online store. Get one of my books. They all have meal plans and recipes. And then I have some very high quality supplements, Minister of Wellness approved herbal extracts for you. TheMinisterofWellness.com. Get your health together. 888-847-8026. You need help placing an order, questions, comments, or concerns, free assessments. Call in and get your free assessment today. 888-847-8026. Join the Facebook community. I can be healthy. I will be healthy. I must be healthy. I'm also on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find me and follow me on all social media platforms simply by searching for the Minister of Wellness. If these free videos are helping you, please visit theministerofwellness.com/give, and you can give any amount, brothers and sisters, that you would like to give to help me in this great commission the Most High has called me to. Always to donate listed on my official donation page. Also check out the description box and pinned comment section, theministerofwellness.com/give. May the Most High bless all who answer the call to give. Eat your G-bombs and have some squash with it. Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. The medicine foods of God.
Good evening, family.
Thank you for tuning in. This is HRap. This is the End of the Bench podcast, Build and Destroy segment. You are listening on Built for This Network. Thank you. Happy New Year. We've made it to another year, and I hope you have been enjoying the programs. Do my best to provide you with the most important, most poignant, and what I feel is very important information to make your life easier, to grow our community, and put us in a better situation. As I do every week, I always acknowledge my ancestors. The reason I do that is because when you acknowledge your ancestors, you send respect to them. They send peace and blessings to you. So I acknowledge everybody who is related to me and everybody who's not. Like my supporters who are in the chat room, thank you very much. And the background listeners, in any event that you want to participate in the show, just connect the link I sent you to Spreaker.com, and then you'll get a notification come in, and your comments will be respected, heard, and read. Thank you. With that being said, acknowledgement to the people in my family connected to the Whitmore, Pollard, Turner, Battle, Cotton, Harper, Bailey, Chris, Lansdowne, Ligon, Duncan, and of course me, my mother, my father, my sisters, and my brothers. We are the Williams clan. We are in the building. With that being said, any event that you're unable to complete the program, or you come in late, you can always catch us on Spreaker.com. Look up Built for This Network. You can check out anything on the network. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, or wherever you get your podcasts or start downloading your podcast from. Check those platforms out. There should be a lot of interesting information on there. And with that being said, let's get the show on the road. Now, we're entering another year, and we do a lot of what we supposed to, what we have to, and I'm going to start the year off doing that. I'm on mission. Basically, shout out to Sister Karen Hunter, shout out to Dr. Greg Carr, two of my inspirations, two of the people who helped me with information as well. So, and thousands of others that do the same, but they are at the forefront. But as Sister Karen Hunter said, I'm creating a safe space as well. This is a space in which we can share opinions, share ideas, and put each other in a better place with information, love, companionship, friendship, brotherhood, and community. Now, we just completed one of the most interesting, if no other word, for lack of a better term, interesting years in my entire lifetime. People who are older than me, last year was nothing. They walked through it. It was nothing. But this is that seminal moment in most people's lives that you always look back and go, wow, that happened. You know, some people it was the JFK thing, other people it was the Dr. King situation, other people it was the entire 70s, the 80s with the crack and president and the Pope being shot, the 90s with the first attempt and the World Trade getting knocked down, and the Red River thing and Oklahoma City bombing. And then you go into the 2000s, you get the actual knocking down of the towers and so forth and so on. And this was that seminal moment in my life. And a lot of your lives, it will be the most horrific, most interesting, most confusing time of your life. And you'll be able to look back in the history books. They'll probably write about 2020 for years to come. One of the most important things that happened last year was the civil rights movement was reactivated. It's the third iteration of it, if you ask me. But our folks stood up around the world, and we stood up to be counted in regards to the voting, voters' rolls. There was a lot going on in America last year. You're talking about health, a health scare, brothers and sisters being recorded. I call it trauma porn. You got black men and black women being attacked at all times on the news every day. You had the taking off the hoods of white supremacy. People took those, 100 some odd years ago. The Ku Klux Klan was started, and people rode around in hoods and lynched black people and tore up their communities. And I have a segment at the end of the show to remind you of that. So, but if you ask me, a lot of people took their hoods off last year. It was one of those, for lack of a better term, take a dump or get off the pot moments for everybody in society that's not related to us. For years and years and years, people who were not in our community were able to deny and pretend that they didn't know what was going on. But after watching Big George Floyd get murdered on television, Ahmaud Arbery get murdered as he was running down the street, because, at one point you couldn't drive while black. Now you can't jog while black. Breonna Taylor and countless others had their life taken from them unnecessarily at the hands of hate, bigotry, and discrimination. The question I want to present to the community is, did those people die in vain? See, we all galvanized behind one individual, getting rid of Donald Trump, as if Donald Trump created racism. Donald Trump did not create racism. Donald Trump had nothing to do with racism. Donald Trump is a symptom of racism. He is a symptom of racism. When you listen to his rhetoric, when you listen to his behavior, and what he did was, again, he snatched the hoods off his fellow racists and put them out on Front Street. A lot of people go, I hated him. He was the worst. He never owned human beings. Your favorite president, the presidents that you were taught to love, the James Madisons, the Thomas Jeffersons, the George Washington, they own 300 or 400 people. So how is he worse than that? See, we have to stop with the nonsense of what they say on TV. At the worst, he was 14th. At the very worst, he was 14th or 16th whenever Abraham Lincoln came into play. That was probably the first guy that didn't own someone. So, at the very worst, he's 14th to 16th, whichever one Abraham Lincoln was. But stop looking at what this dude was saying, because only one that we could really be comfortable in saying that he wasn't saying those kinds of things is Barack Obama. He's the only one that you could just stand up and say, no, he wasn't racist. Period. The rest of them, questionable. So stop trying to compare white supremacists versus white supremacists when you got people like Lyndon Baines Johnson that call the Civil Rights Act the nigger bill. When you got people like Nixon calling brothers and sisters niggas publicly. So, you got Franklin Delano Roosevelt Each and every one of us who graduated from elementary school in the last elementary and high school in the last century, which is the 1900s, you were told that Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the friend of the black man, but he created a bill called the New Deal, in which people can gain generational wealth by buying homes and things of that nature, and he made your ancestors ineligible for that bill. So all these people who they hype up to you and tell you that these people are the deal and they really helping you, they didn't like us either. So, but again, just like when Dr. King didn't fight back and they turned the water hoses on them and dogs on them, and television was becoming the big thing, and a lot of people with actual conscience stood up and said, oh, this is ridiculous, because they were going for the nonsense as well. That video of George Floyd that went viral was this generation equivalent of that. Just like Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and Big George Floyd as well, they were the Emmett Tills of this time, because you saw the brutality. Mamie Till showed the world via Jet Magazine and other news sources. This is what's going on with us. This is what's happening. She could have had a closed casket, but she said, no, I want the whole world to see how brutal these people are towards me and my people, and especially my son. So, watching Big George die on TV was undeniable. You know, we even had people deny Rodney King 25 years ago, 25, almost 30 years ago. So, that's why I'm asking the question. Was that a moment in history, or did we start a movement? And you have to ask yourself that. The reason I ask that is because Georgia, the state of Georgia, is ground zero in regards to the movement at this point. That's where Ahmaud was murdered a year ago, 11 months ago. State of Georgia. Brothers and sisters in Georgia, I know a lot of y'all listening. I see the numbers. I'm going to need y'all to get up off your ass and go vote Tuesday. Because that's step one. A lot of people, the Hotep brothers and the conspiracy brothers, oh, this is not going to work. Those people, okay, I get it. You don't have to believe in the system, but if y'all not going to pack up and leave, I think y'all need to engage. Or how about this? Step up. I don't need any more information about what's going on unless you're going to step up and try to combat it. At the end of the show, you will hear why I'm saying what I'm saying. I have a piece on history that I think is wildly important that everyone who listens to this podcast should listen to. I think it's wildly important. Please, if you know what, if you don't listen to anything I say, if you end it right now, then go to the last 15 minutes of the show. I would rather you do that. But with that being said, this cannot just be a moment in history. It needs to be a movement. See, it's a call to order for everybody in the community. See, I don't want to hear about your religious orientation. I don't want to know about your sexual orientation. I don't know about your gender identification. I don't want to know about your country of origin, because there's people all over the world listen to my show. Shout out to everybody from all over the world who tune in to build for this network. Not just my show. I'm part of a collective. You listen to me now, but that's not the important thing. It's a bigger picture. Even at built for this network. But did those brothers and sisters throughout the entire 5 to 7 years that we've been seeing videos of cops gunning us down, police throw our young women to the ground, police murder our sisters, police murder our brothers? Because see, we keep saying the police brutality. That's not police brutality. That's police murder. That's murder. That's flat out murder. It's not brutality. Brutality is what I got. I got beat up before by the police. I got beat up a few times by the police. I got homeboys who were picked up and put in rival gang territory. That's brutality, because they got home, they got roughed up, or in some cases the gang honored what was going on. Look, we got issues with you and your situation, but we ain't got issues. We not gonna jump on you because they put us over here. So that's brutality. But when these people are being murdered in the street and people are always running, I didn't know I didn't know I was in fear of my life and all that rigmarole that they running at us. It's time for us to stop with the divisions, because guess what? If you identify with the LGBTQ, if you identify as a person from another country of origin, if you identify as a right wing or left wing politician, if you identify as working class, if you identify with wealthy or rich or anything like that, guess what? No, you identify with those things, but the rest of the world identifies you as a black person. You are your country of origin is the continent of Africa, which is everybody on Earth continent, country of origin, continent of origin. But you are a African. You are not an African American. You are not a African who moved to America. You are a African, and we need to identify ourselves as a group with different. We are part of a tree with different branches. Every leaf on the tree is not connected. Every branch on the tree is not connected, but they all part of the same tree. And until we start identifying ourselves as that, we will continue to suffer the consequences of racism, discrimination, bigotry, classism, and every other ism and schism that they have out there to continue to make you angry with each other. We don't have time for this. Like, okay, these politicians. Big Illinois, man. Big Illinois. Shout out to Big Illinois. Dope show last night. Shout out to DJ Purpalicious. Nice show this afternoon. And anybody else who's doing the show. But Big Illinois, he made a statement. We got to get these old racist politicians out of office. And that's true. And that's why this can no longer be a moment. It has to be a movement. We must get behind the Stacey Abrams and Reverend Warnocks and Harrison in the Carolinas, and anybody else, Cory Booker, Miss Harris, Sister Harris, Vice President Harris, and anybody else who was attempting to stand up for us. Now, some of those people that I named, everybody's not with them, and they have issues with them. So what? You don't have to agree with everybody. I was part of a conversation with my brother from the Nation of Islam. Shout out to my brother Michael Shabazz. That's his true name. His given name is Michael Neal. I've been knowing Michael since before I had teen in my age. One of the best people I know, man. And I was on the Zoom call with a bunch of brothers and sisters from the Nation of Islam last night, and we were building on helping each other out. And I ain't just speak up for my network, built for this network. I spoke up for everybody. You know, those brothers and sisters are going to probably start transitioning as we continue to have these meetings every Friday. I'm going to be a part of this. Thank you, Mike. Shout out to Mike for inviting me. We're going to start, hopefully they start transitioning to our shows, and hopefully Mike do a show, because Mike is a powerful brother who he has a lot in his heart and a lot on his mind. He introduced me to some excellent people last night. But it's as the brother Mike said, and how I've been feeling for my entire life. This whole if you ain't separating yourself from when you from Minnesota, like my man RC, or if you from New Jersey, like my man DJ Mad Knox, or if you from Canada, like the homie Ron, or wherever you from, you don't separate yourself by state. You say we part of the United States of America. We part of the United Countries of Africa. How about that? And if you don't support these sisters and brothers who got your back, and anybody else who has your back, or get behind somebody who has your back, it's your fault. That's why it's no longer a moment. It's no longer a movement. It's a moment. You know, everybody who in our community are affected by racism. Yeah, you might be stupid enough to believe because you got so much money, you ain't racist. You ain't gonna be subjected to racism. But you know what? Check out educated Dr. Henry Gates up there at Harvard University, and they had to have a beer summit with him and President at the time, Barack Obama, and the police. Or check out the homie LeBron James out there in California, where they broke the N-word on his door, on his gate. And the fact that O.J. Simpson was charged with the murder of 2 individuals, and people will skip right over the literally hundreds of thousands of brothers and sisters who have been subjected to the tyranny and the hatred in this country alone, and go straight to O.J. Simpson and forget all the other stuff. You know what? If you want to talk to me about O.J. Simpson, something that you don't know about, let me talk about the fact that in 1977, the United States federal government paid Coretta Scott King money for unlawful death lawsuit in Martin Luther King case. Let's talk about the Tuskegee experiment. Let's talk about redlining, Jim Crow segregation, all the other stuff. See, we're not going to talk about one dude's potential wrong, because don't nobody really know if he did it. But, so we're not going to focus on one dude. We're not going to allow y'all. If y'all want to talk about the past, we're going to talk about every freaking day of the past. And then let's see who end of the scale is higher. The blame scale or the victim scale. Because the victim scale on this side, we got 400 years at a minimum in the United States of America. Not to mention that 45% of the Africans that were captured from the continent was taken to South America. 45%. It wasn't even that many brothers and sisters brought here to this raggedy ass country. So don't talk to me about that. But back to the point at hand. This is why this has to be a movement. A movement, to quote Coretta Scott King, the gains of civil rights have to be, they're only going to benefit the people in that time. You have to continue to fight every year for them. Because guess what? In the generation, nobody's going to be talking about Barack Obama. Just like ain't nobody talk. You got people that ain't talking about Medgar Evers. You got people who talk. A lot of people don't even know who Fannie Lou Hamer is. So you think 50 years after she died, people ain't talking about her, and people gonna be talking about 2020 unless you make it that way. We got to get behind these people like Stacey Abrams. And if you don't like Sister Harris and Brother Booker and other people, Reverend Warnock down there in Georgia, cool. Let them get a shot, because you let these bigots get a shot for the last 200-300 years. And you know what? You let these bigots get a shot for at least the last 157 years. So it's time to galvanize, get behind something that's important. Organization by one brother, Kwame Ture, born in Stokely Carmichael. Organization is the key, whether it's the Urban League, the NAACP, the NOI, the Operation Push. How about this? You start an organization since you have this many complaints about what's going on in the United States of America, and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you see all the problems. How about you stop talking and start organizing? See, because organization is the key. Biggest organize all the time. Why you think people like Ricky Schroeder and Brian Urlacher and all them other people bailed that boy out who shot them 2 white boys up in Kenosha, Wisconsin? Because they organize, they got one common goal, and they have a mission in which they are dying to continue. Now, and that mission is to eliminate most of us and put us in a submissive situation, excuse me. Because they don't want to do no work. They just want to be able to control you as you do their work. So let's get that straight. So either you are organizing and putting yourself in a situation that whereas you can help us, or stop talking. I don't need to hear another damn conspiracy. I don't need to hear another thing about this damn vaccination. I don't need to hear nothing else but this is what we are going to do. This is what I'm going to do, and I have this many people behind you. Can I come on your show and talk about it? That's all I'm saying. Because if you're not uplifting the community, if you're not educating the community, you are destroying the community. I don't want to hear about nobody. Like at the top of the show, you heard the Minister of Wellness. And even though I love the information he gives out, I'm going to email him again. And I'm going to ask him to stop calling people fools, zombies, and stupid. Because I don't know about nobody else. I can just tell you about me. The moment you say stupid and B, HRap, Brian, or whatever people call me or know me as, I ain't listening to another damn word. You say stupid to me and I'm done. You can be like, hey, stupid ass, here's $1 million. I'm gonna die with the money I got in the bank today. Know that. So when he called, no matter how, maybe that's why people are not listening to you, because you're calling them stupid. So we're going to have to stop this name calling, this backbiting and all this, and start acknowledging people as the human beings that they are. And if you want people to listen, how about talk to them the way you want to be talked to? Because guess what? As the great Malcolm X said, don't criticize people for what they don't know, because at one point in your life, you didn't know what you know. My man RC just said, any thoughts on these senators who are going to oppose count the electoral college votes? Well, you know what? Those dudes, again, man, this is why we must organize and see, if we're going to stay here, and most of us have no interest in getting up and leaving and going to another country. We don't. Why? I don't know, but it don't make a difference. It really don't make a difference. It don't make a difference. Why we don't think about moving? Because the best way to get somebody to act like they got some sense is to put them in a position in which they assume it's over. When you assume it's over, people tend to straighten the hell up. But Paul Robeson showed these people that, like, he stopped saying he was American, and they revoked his passport and called him a traitor. Same with WB Du Bois. They started saying they're citizens of the world. But guess what? There's two things. If you really want to change something in America, you do, and everybody straighten the hell up. I see, and then people know it. And that one of those things is get a passport, because when you get a passport, you might visit some place that may not be as bountiful as the United States of America in regards to resources and means to become a billionaire, but it might be comfortable. Because guess what, man? With technology, you can go to another country, blow it up, and then invite me over there, and we both get rich, and then invite somebody else over, we both get rich, so forth and so on. But if seeing how we're not gonna leave, what we need to do is make sure the states that we live in have the benefits that we need. Because what we have to do is realize the United States of America is not created. It wasn't created as a conglomerate. It's individual countries. It's almost like the continent. The continent has 53, maybe 54. I think it's 54 different countries. The United States of America is set up the same kind of way. So that's why you think the state of California, the state of Oregon, the state of Washington, the state of Colorado was able to legalize marijuana, and nobody touched them. Nobody touched them to this day. Federal law says you can't use marijuana and you can't sell marijuana for engaging in fun activities. I can't think of the word right now. Recreational activities. But they said we're gonna do it, and Eric Holder ain't done it. And as racist as all these attorney generals your man Trump had, they ain't touching them, because they understand these states fund everything that they're trying to do. States like New York, states like California, these people put so much money in the pot that they finance. California and New York probably finance Mississippi, Kentucky, and Mississippi, Kentucky, and Alabama. They actually probably finance those states. So when people get to talking that, if you get people in there who are fighting for you, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second too. That's part of the movement too. If you get people fighting for you, you don't have to worry about it unless you stay there just a bunch of grandstanding that's not gonna stick anyway. What we're gonna have to do is, when I say stay engaged, it's just easy to go out and vote every 4 years on Tuesday in November. Oh, I done my part. No, you haven't, because guess what? This is the best time to stay engaged. You can even stay engaged just lazy, because now they're doing city council meetings on Zoom because everybody's scared that their ass is gonna die. Now, you start get the information for those Zoom meetings, and you engage. And then the next election come up, you start telling your city councilmen, you start telling your aldermen, you start telling your state reps, y'all gonna stop putting these damn city council meetings at 2:00 in the afternoon, knowing my black ass is at work. And if y'all don't fix this, and if enough of us get together, it's like in the city of Chicago, that we believe it or not, there's more black people in the city of Chicago than any particular group. Not more than white people who register white, but any particular ethnicity. If we start saying, y'all gonna stop putting these damn meetings at 2:00 because my black ass is at work, and most people are at work at that time, y'all gonna start doing this shit in the evening, so I know what the hell y'all doing. That's how you stay engaged. And guess what, homie, sister? If y'all don't stop that, you gonna be on the other end of the Zoom meeting watching, trying to figure out what's going on. That's how you fix it. That's how you fix it. See, all this those talkers, it's the midterms are just as important. They're going to be at your door again begging for new jobs in 2 years, man. 2020 and 1 year. In 2022, some more people begging for new jobs. If y'all don't start having these meetings when we can see them so we'll know what's going on so we can be a part of these Zoom meetings, then y'all going to be out of here. I don't want to hear none of that. This is why it has to be a movement, not a moment. Man, talk to your brothers and sisters and not just to complain. Your friends, your family, your lady, your man, your uncles, whoever it is, your aunts, grandmother, find out what they need. Your grandmother, your people in your family, my age and older, 50 and older, we need fucking free health care. Excuse me, Reverend Daniels. Excuse me, Reverend Dodd. You need free health care, man. If you've lived in this country and got up and went to work and paid taxes for 50 years, well, basically for the last 32 years of your life, most of us, not counting college-educated people, and if your parents was doing it then, you don't need to be paying $50, $60, $70, $80, $200, $300 a month and for health care. And what we're going to do, what I'm going to continue to do is put that information about how to get healthy naturally on these shows. I need y'all to continue to invite people, man, because we're going to get healthy one way or another. The government is going to finance us getting healthy, which probably we ain't going to bank on that. But we're going to get information and we're going to start eating better. We're going to start walking around these blocks and we're going to start making ourselves familiar with our community. We're going to get better. But back to the point at hand, we need these damn politicians, man, to make this information accessible to the working person. Because Irene, and RC, and Purplicious, and Sharice, y'all at work all day. I'm at work all day. Wow, how do we go to the damn city council meeting at 2 o'clock? Y'all gonna redo that. That's step one. Make the information that make these people who are allegedly fighting on your behalf, make that information readily accessible to the common man. Y'all done put internet in all our houses. Y'all got our kids at the crib doing everything. So we need them Zoom meetings that y'all having to talk about the city budget and things like that. Put that on the Zoom so we can understand, so we can be on y'all behinds. Period. No more of this conversation about, oh yeah, we got your back. I'm going to talk about it. Because when you put them city council meetings on Zoom and we can all watch them, we know who's selling us out, we know who's doing our bid, and we know who need to be replaced. And if you don't want to do it, all right, don't worry about it. The next dude who we're going to vote in to take your job, he going to do it too. Because you know what? They tried to scare the hell out of our sister Kim Fox here in Chicago, Illinois, from my neighborhood, the Cabrini Green area, Old Town area. Nope, she kept her job. And guess what? They ain't going to get rid of her now because they got to pay her for the rest of her life. She's been elected twice. State of Illinois, you get elected to office twice, you good for the rest of your days. Now, another thing, again, talk to your friends and family members. Everybody talking about defund the police. We're not going to worry about the police because the police going to be the police no matter who running it. If it took you 157 years to realize the police out here stomping black folks' ears together, it's going to take you another 157 years to get it. What we need to do is focus on why the crime is in our area. You live in an impoverished area or a high crime area. Why is the crime there? Lack of resources. So we're not gonna focus on what they not gonna get. We're gonna start telling y'all what we are gonna get. If you live on the south side of Chicago, whether it be Inglewood, whether it be the Jeffrey Manor, whether it be the middle of the south side, the southeast part of the south side, or wherever it is, however it is in your city, or the west side of Chicago, the southwest side, Holy City, Lawndale, north or south Lawndale, that's what they call it now, north or south Lawndale, or the Austin area, or K-Town, wherever you live. If you got unfunded schools or unfunded situations or overcrowded classrooms, tell you what, y'all gonna take some of that money that y'all allocated to the police and y'all start putting into these after-school programs, these job training programs and things like that. That's why it's crime now. Talib Kweli said it best. He a rapper. For those who are not familiar with Talib Kweli, he a rapper. He said, and I quote, "People don't sell drugs because they like to see people smoke. People sell drugs because they broke. And lack of opportunity, where it's not a way, you'll create a way. Sometimes it's criminal. And I'm not condoning anything. I'm not saying it's cool, but I just understand the situation and the circumstance. You put somebody in the corner, they're going to come out. Either they're going to run or they're going to fight. Most people going to fight. And if it's poison in the neighborhood to make sure my daughter got to eat, I might have to poison somebody. And this is just the reality of the situation, y'all. Is it cool? Is it the way to go? Probably not. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. And it's not like we invented crime, we invented drug dealing, we invented alcoholism, we invented selling alcohol and bootlegging alcohol and things. We didn't invent that. Those are the tools left to us. You have people like George H.W. Bush, Oliver North, and Ronald Reagan, and the rest of the United States federal government that stood behind this Iran-Contra thing and put that dope in our community. And now here's the results of it. Brothers and sisters who out there doing the hustling and the dope dealing and the scamming, as they call it now, with the scamming. What y'all need to do is start buying all the damn designer stuff and start investing in buying homes and start businesses with your clean brother and sister. Yeah, I said it. With your brother and sister who get up and go to work every day, who got good credit. Have him help you do something, and you can trust him, and then you get about this situation. But we're going to have to stand on the neck of these people who claim that they want to represent us. If y'all want to represent us, y'all going to have to do what y'all have to do to make sure we get what we need. Period. Enough of this. This is why it is a movement, not a moment. Because if we want a moment, we can start us some "we shall overcome" speeches and start, doing all that stuff. That stuff happened, and Dr. King, they got down for whatever they needed to, and it was all good. It was all good, but we can't have that anymore. Dr. King immobilized people. Malcolm X organizes people. When you immobilize people, you get people moving in one direction. When you organize people, you teach them how to do businesses. You teach them how to be community activists. You teach them how to make sure everybody around them gets taken care of. We need more people like John Lewis. We need more people like Reverend Adam Clayton Powell. Y'all don't know who Reverend Adam Clayton Powell is? Y'all missing out. One of the greatest politicians in the history of the world. If you got a kid, he went to kindergarten and Head Start, what I want you to do is say thank God for Adam Clayton Powell, because he was the dude who stood on the neck of these politicians and did it. That's him. Adam Clayton Powell, New York City. So these are the kinds of people, and then these are the kind of people that helped you out and you don't even know about them, because all you learned about is Abraham Lincoln freed you. Lie. George Washington is your father. My father, black as the ace of spades. George Washington ain't my damn father. And then they teach you about Madam C.J. Walker, which it was a sister who taught, Annie Monroe taught her. And she was a millionaire before sister Madam C.J. Walker, but she don't know about Annie Monroe. And if you watch that horrific nonsense that Netflix put out, they got you thinking Annie Monroe is a petty ass sister, and she wasn't. And then they teach about George Washington Carver. Then they might slide in the brother Medgar Evers. Then they go straight to Rosa Parks, Dr. King, and then now they're going to throw Barack Obama in. Remember they used to throw Bill Cosby and a couple other celebrities in, and you ain't know nothing else about your history. But now we're going to learn about our history. We're going to learn, we're going to start organizing, and we're going to get things put in place. Period. It ain't no more time for talking. We're going to get activated, and we're going to dead one more thing. This foolishness about we the only community that need a leader. Everybody else ain't got no leader. No, you just don't know who the leader is. Because guess what? When Nick Cannon allegedly stepped out of order and started speaking ill of white folks, one of the leaders of the Jewish community stepped up and said, watch out. And anytime you, look, the LGBTQ, you say something about them and one of their leaders step up. So just because you don't know it's there don't mean it ain't there. See, their leadership groups, because they still have their culture, they still have their history, they still have their language, they still have their traditions. Their leadership group is potentially a council. It's a group of people and they push a spokesman out there. But because we have been discriminated against and hated on for so many years in this country, our people have to step up and scream and yell. So we're going to stop saying we don't need leadership, because everything needs a leader. You start a business with 10 of your friends, one of y'all going to have to be the president. If you start all the way down to a street gang, it's going to be a leader of the street gang. He's going to be a shot caller. So from the top of the world to the top of the streets, everybody needs a leader. So stop telling that lie too. Something else that we realized in 2020 is we don't have many friends. Again, stop confusing your cool ass white girlfriend, your cool ass white boyfriend, your cool ass white uncle, your cool ass white aunt, your cool white neighbor, your cool white coworker for the rest of the white community. Period. 74 million. The more people voted this year than any time in the United States of America, and almost half of them voted against you. 74 million people said, we digging what this dude, we smelling what this dude cooking. We like it. So that means you have a ton of adversaries. Anytime you got the Sister Harris, Vice President Harris, and Senator Cory Booker there in New Jersey, right, supported her. And even this dude, Tim Scott, which he's complicated at the least. Tim Scott supported the anti-lynching bill, and you got a dude by the name of Rand Paul stands up the day of George Floyd funeral and says, we ain't with that. Anti-lynching. We the only people getting lynched around here, y'all. We the only people that get lynched, and people don't even want to put forth legislation, so if somebody attacks us, it's wrong. So how many friends you got? See, we keep confusing people who don't participate in bigotry as non-racist. When you are a humane person, anytime somebody doing wrong to anybody, you step up on the side of righteousness. And if you're not stepping up, if you turning a blind eye or you making an excuse for all the wrongdoings, you are with the wrongdoings, point blank, period. Because guess what? If somebody rapes somebody, it ain't nobody on the sideline going, well, no. You're not making no excuses because that's clearly wrong. And beating a brother, putting your knee on his neck, choking out a sister, propping her up like she alive, shooting a brother who, a former police officer shooting a brother while he jogging, talking about he suspected burglary. Where was he hiding? In his ass? Because he was in some shorts. Again, sorry, Reverend Dodd. Sorry, Reverend Daniels. But these are the things that you have to realize. Again, hip-hop reference, Mobb Deep. It's a war going on outside. Nobody's safe. Period. If you got people fighting against anti-lynching, that's fighting against the history of your community. This is why you have to stay engaged. Again, it is a movement, not a moment. If you let this moment in history slide by you, you are going to hurt your grandkids, your nieces and your nephews, your little cousins. That's all you're doing. You ain't got a whole lot more summers left. You got more birthdays behind you than in front. Let's just be honest. I doubt if I live to be 100. With this stuff that I'm talking about, I mess around, I don't live to be 51 with people the way the world goes. But that's neither here nor there. But you are fighting for the younger people of your family. Period, man. Anti-lynching is not a debatable conversation. And this is why I need you to engage in your history. See, a lot of us got it twisted into our heads that we Americans. And we're not. We Africans. We are Africans. And at some point in history, they made us feel shame to call yourself African. The inventor of mathematics, the inventor of astrology, the inventor of irrigation, the inventor of pyramids, all the stuff that we done invented, y'all scared to say that's where y'all from. I'm from America. Man, get the hell out of here, man. This ain't even America. You from America? Is it North or South America? Because guess what? Brazil is South America. That's America. See, you don't even call it the United States, and that's where you're messing up at. What's your nationality? American? United Statian? What are you doing? See? And that's why they get you. And this is why I want you to engage in your history. Because when you engage in your history, you realize, once you start going down that historic rabbit hole, you realize this is what you can do. Let's just take something that happened in the great state of Minnesota where my man RC is from. A couple years ago, maybe 3 to 5 years ago, a cop shot this white woman. She was from another country. That country stood up and damn near threatened the United States of America and got that black man put in jail. He was a brother. I think he was from Sudan. He was a police officer. And he got locked up almost instantaneously, right? Guess why? Because she had a country standing behind us. Now, if you do your research and become a dual citizen at one of these African nations, you got a nation standing up for you because you're a citizen, you're illegal, you were born here, it makes you a citizen, and then you got a nation fighting for you because this nation is not going to fight for you. That's why you do your history. Not I know what tribe I'm from. No. But when you realize that the United Nations and other places like, hey, what's going on with our folks over there? Now you got a nation fighting for you. And when you engage in your history, you realize the greatness that lies before you, not behind you, in front of you. Because then you'll realize how great you can be because of who was great behind you. And they push you into greatness. That's what time it is. See, but if you don't want to embrace your ancestry, how can you ask your ancestors and the people who are relatives of yours to stand up and fight for you? And you don't even want to be known as an African. You want to be known as American, and then you want to be known as a second-class citizen. Like this brother approached Malcolm X once, and Malcolm X said, you're a black man. He said, no, I'm a Negro. I ain't no black man. He said, so you're a Spanish black man. So you want to be called a Spanish black man. See what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about yesterday, so you can't know anything or find a way to get going for tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy. It's just raw dog crazy. Let me see. I have to risk my safety right now. This election exposed exactly how dark and deep the hatred is. The hatred lives in this country. We got this dude out, but the bigger story is we gotta get millions to vote. Just got millions to vote to keep him in. Go view my Facebook page. I'm pissed during this election. That's my man Ray to Care. Exactly. Philando Castile happened the year before that, and we know what happened. Philando Castile gets murdered on TV. Nobody speaks up for him. The governor didn't speak for him. The mayor didn't speak for him. The city council didn't speak for him. The state senator didn't speak for him. Nobody spoke up for him. And he dead as Elvis, man. And nothing happened. Brother out of here. And ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Sister Breonna Taylor gave her parents some money. Don't nobody want no damn money, man. We want Breonna back now. Bring her back. But nobody's talking about that. These people murder us and kill us in the street. Our senators don't speak up. The governor don't speak. All these elected officials who are supposed to be representing us and you don't say anything. They don't say a damn thing. You disengage, you engage, get their ass put out of office and engage and get money's put in your communities where you can have your own property and stop just buying buildings. Buy the land that the buildings sit on. That's when they can't enforce that eminent domain situation because you just own the area. You own above ground. You don't belong below. Notice that. And like I said, we got to connect with the members of our ancestry. Stop living with the propaganda, man. Africans don't like us. How you gonna speak for a whole 54 countries of people? Oh, because I bumped into this one African and he ain't like me. And you bumped into a black dude and ain't like you the next day. So Americans don't like you? It's foolishness, man. You know a bunch of people that don't like you. You don't put that on. Oh, man, you go to Detroit. Hey, man, I got into it with some dudes in Detroit. Detroit people don't like Chicago people. Chicago people don't like Atlanta people. Atlanta people don't like LA. Stop it. Stop letting people who you don't know create narratives that you don't know where they come from, tell you what's going on in your life. We do it all the time with each other. Oh, man, I don't like HRap. Oh, why? Because he's this and this and that. And then you come into my show, I say something that you possibly might not like. Yeah, you were right. HRap is that type of guy. You ain't listen to nothing I said. And then again, I am a lot of that stuff that people say because I don't give a hot goddamn whether you like me or not. Nah, there it is. You like me, cool. If you don't, that's good too, man. I ate last night. I had me a little cocktail. I got people in my life that love me and care about me. And if you don't like me, that sucks to be you because I'm trying to help you, fool. But anyway, man, connect to your ancestors, man. Learn something about the continent. Engage with Africans, engage with Jamaicans, engage with Caribbean, engage with Africans, no matter if you're bilingual or not, whether if you're from this place called the United States or not. Because guess what? All you have to do is engage them, brother, and you'll find out that you got way more in common than you don't. Like this whole thing, foundational African Americans. Foundational. Stop it. And these are some people who I actually respect. Oh man, you don't want to split the reparations up with the people. But how about this? We need to be attacking every nation on the European continent. We need to be attacking all these people here in the United States of America and any place else that enslaved our ancestors. And then we all need to be getting reparations. But nah, y'all want to separate yourselves again and create a foolish term called foundational African Americans. Really? So you're going to separate yourself again instead. You back to the fingers, never the fists. Because you're not connected with the members of your ancestry, man. People in the Caribbean, I was talking to a sister, she's a sister from the NOI, in the meeting last night, and she was saying that it's a lot of brothers and sisters. I mean, it's a lot of Asians moving down to Jamaica, opening up stores. We need to be working with the Jamaican community so we can send something down there to make it possible for we only shopping with the brothers and sister stores down there. Just like we need to be doing that here. Oh man, the world ain't like that. Yes, it is. Again, I got to do, y'all know I got this show coming up, Rapping with HRap, a living history of the black community. I got this brother, Reverend James Don II, coming on, and he hopefully he tell that story to y'all too, but he tell that story to me about how he used to go to the store for a Jewish lady. She gave him extra money to walk the extra 2 blocks to go to the Jewish store. Yeah, that was a bunch of years ago, but you outside your damn mind if you don't think that happens to this day. And it's nothing wrong with it, man. It's nothing wrong with it. You know, I had a good brother by the name, I ain't gonna say his name. I got a good brother. Once told me I can't only shop at with black people because I want good food. I said, also black people can't make good food. No, I don't mean it like that. Yes, you did. Because you have been brainwashed into believing what you bring to the table is not as good as what other people bring to the table. He know who he is. He listening, my man, but he said it. But that's because you allow the TV to tell you what's going on in your life. You allow the TV to tell you black on black crime is out of control. But black on black crime is no different than white on white crime. Black on black crime, 91% of people that look like me hurt people that look like me. But 89% of people who are from the white community hurt people from the white community. And so forth and so on. Now, if we was talking about 91 and 55, then we have a conversation. 91 and 71. We have a conversation, but if we were in the classroom, I got a 91 on the test, you get an 89 on the test, we get the exact same grade. But we allow people who don't like us, who don't care about us, who don't have nothing invested in us to tell us how we should and should not think, how we should and should not feel about certain things, which is crazy. But that's because you're not engaging with your neighbor. You're not engaging with the people down the block. You're not engaging with people who look like you from another country. And you don't understand, and they don't understand. And it's not just people who live in the United States of America that feel that way. But you got people up north of the border, they getting discriminated against. You got people south of the border who look like us getting discriminated against. You got people in the Gulf of Mexico, Aruba, the Caribbean, all throughout the Caribbean, Cuba, and all other places throughout the entire world. They are doing the same thing. They are experiencing the same tyranny that we're experiencing, but you're so busy caught up in your sprained ankle that you won't realize everybody that look like you got a sprained ankle, everybody who look like you got a broken leg, everybody, we all struggling. So how about this? If we are from the largest continent on the face of the earth, and we have the greatest population on the face of the earth, because we're really the global majority. It's more people on the face of the earth that look like me and you than look like anybody else. If once we come to the realization that that's what's going on in this world, we will work together and we can dominate. But until the end, up until and including that moment, I'm going to still work together. But I'm not trying to convince anybody, because You want to have that fight with somebody else. Argue amongst yourselves. But me and the good brothers and sisters, we're going to get together and we're going to create our own thing. And again, please listen to the end of the show because that's what's important. Again, if you don't listen to anything else I say in the show right now, wait till the end. Take about 15 minutes and listen to the last 15 minutes of the show and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But we must connect with the people who look like us. We must connect with our ancestral roots so we'll know the people in the Caribbean, the people in Guyana. Like, it's one of the biggest activists for our community, in the hip hop community. His name is Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar is not his family is not descendants of slaves. He's from Guyana, South America, like my man Mars Noel. He was on the show before. But he's standing up fighting. Malcolm X's mother is not a descendant of a United States slave. She's from Grenada. See, so does Malcolm X not deserve it? As hard as he fought and gave up his life, he don't deserve no money, though, huh? But see, this is what I'm saying. We keep separating ourselves. You don't know your history, you don't know your ancestral roots. Then you have these silly ass conversations. And the brother who started that term, I believe, I'm not gonna damn him for starting the term, but the first brother I know who's spearheading that term, I should say, one of the people that's spearheading that term, is a brother who's well read. He's giving us mad information, and he came up with that idea. And I'm not gonna knock him for it because that's my next point. We are going to stop. We're going to have to stop publicly criticizing each other in front of the masses, man. Because when you say this person is a sucker or a clown or a buffoon or because he got a different opinion than you, what we need to do is start calling these people and addressing them directly. The thing is, social media is a beautiful thing. You get to meet people that you probably never would have met before, and engage with people that you probably would never engaged in before. But we can't have arguments on social media anymore because it's this term called whitefishing. Y'all heard of catfishing, where you're a man pretending to be a woman, and then you get dudes to fall in love with you and yada yada yada, and vice versa for women. But this thing called blackfishing now. When you got people put up black avatars, they find some black person's face and put it on their avatar, and then they start speaking in our language. This is the first time in the history of the world that white people could peek in and see what we cooking with. That's why you got people like Rachel Dolezal. That's why you got other dudes. Every week they find some white dude who was on Twitter pretending to be a black dude speaking down to the black community from the holy pulpit of what is it called? When you think you're holier than that, I can't think of the word right now, but it don't make a difference. You speaking from that pulpit. Nah, but you've given people the secret sauce, and I ain't just come up with this just now because I remember I'm sitting there listening to my son and his homeboy Willie and his homeboy Michael and Dofan, and they got their little cool sayings and everything. And then they start talking about how this guy from another community asked them what that meant. And that guy from another community asked them what they meant. And I just stopped them. I said, hey, did they tell y'all, when they speaking in their language, did they tell y'all what they talking about? They be like, no. I said, so why? Y'all created your own little slang or y'all own little dialect. Why y'all telling them? I know it's cool, but it's not cool. Because you know what? It was cool to share jazz and all the nuances of jazz. And guess what? Jazz is not us anymore. It was cool to share rock and roll and the nuances of rock and roll. And when you think rock and roll, you don't think Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Fats Domino. You think loud guitars and you don't think Jimi Hendrix. You think Rolling Stones, who stole their name. And you don't think about us. Now you got the lady, the fat white lady. She the face of R&B now, and no disrespect to her, man. I heard she could sing her ass off, but how's she the face of R&B now? And Gladys Knight still living, and a bunch of other sisters that she jazz mostly, but Anita Baker's still alive, Mary J. Blige, and all these people still alive. You got that white lady, the face of R&B, man. And if you like what you like, but it's just you can't be. We keep doing it, man. The best hip hop artist in the world is Eminem. Nope, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. See, hip hop is rebel culture. See, the only reason they ain't gonna be able to take over hip hop is rebel culture. The whole culture is rebellion. So as soon as you say something is, hip hop go, no, it ain't. Now, if Chuck D said, we roll it. But when mainstream media say something, nope. Just because it's y'all. But again, man, we have to connect to our folks and stop letting these people tell us what it is. Black on black crime is not a real statistic, people. Stop it. Oh man, but look at the crime. That's because they over-index on the crime in your community and under-index on crime in other communities. So stop allowing people who don't have your best interest to create narratives that you can follow. Period. Knock it off, man. How can you in one breath, and I say this all the time, and y'all might be even sick of me saying it, but there's somebody who listens to my show for the very first time and never heard me say this. How can you complain that the media is out to get you and then quote the very media that's out to get you? If you don't know what white on white crime is, if you don't know what Asian on Asian crime is, if you don't know what Latino on Latino crime is, well, how do everybody know what black on black crime is? The rape, rather. And that's the morality pulpit that's how I'm speaking from. So now, man, we're not going to have people blackfishing us no more. And another thing, we have to figure out a way. I said this the last 2 days to different people. 26% of the people that are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook they look like us in the United States of America. We want to make up 13% of the population. So that means we are more than 25%, a quarter of the people on there. We are not a quarter of the people. So that means we drive social media. We driving that shit. We drive the bus on that. And you know what? It might be time for us to disengage until somebody come up with our own get down. You know, you got this new thing that everybody running into. It's called, I even downloaded. It's called Clubhouse. Who owns Clubhouse? Why are we over-indexing on Clubhouse? And it's an exclusive thing. You have to be invited to the Clubhouse. Get the hell out of here, man. But what I do know is this. One of my favorite forms of social media was just purchased by a Major League Trump supporter. Explain this to me. Explain this to me, folks. How is it that I could be placed in Facebook jail for quoting some Ice Cube lyrics? This really happened to me. What they call Facebook jail. I get banned for a few hours, 12, 14 hours. I could be banned for an hour from posting on Twitter because I said, man, he needs to get slapped in the face. But they ain't never banned Donald Trump from either platform. They kicked me off for a couple of hours on both of them, and they kicked the Minister Farrakhan off. Because he's saying his truth. He ain't never said nothing about hurting nobody. He's just telling his truth. But the Steve Banyans and all these biggest, they keep their spots. So, again, seeing how we are the driving force behind these things, we need to start edging on some of our folks. You know, like Jay-Z invented Tidal. And I subscribe to Tidal. Maybe we need to start talking to the Jay-Z's and the Oprahs and that to create some type of social media outlet, and we all en masse just flip over to that. Because guess what? The advertisers don't give a damn if we tweeting, meeting, freaking, deeting, or nothing. As long as we on there driving it, and then people will follow us, but it's our get down. It's somebody from our community. Now you got tech people who look like me and you in control of stuff. And that's when you post something positive or you post something that say king or queen, and it's not some type of derogatory statement towards the LGBT community, then you can voice your opinion. Now you're heard. You got to stop over-indexing and making people who are not supporting us and not behind us and not making sure our lives are easier rich. See, this boycotting Gucci and Coochie and all. No, we ain't not boycotting. We're just leaving. You don't need to. If you work every day, you might not need to be buying all that stuff. You get your 1 or 2 pieces and keep it moving. But back to the main point, this criticism on live air, Booker McFarland. Shout out to RC who brought that to my attention, because man, that was one of those. I don't really watch ESPN no more because I see through the racism, and I'm not finna support the bigotry. I'm just saying, I'm not supporting it, man. I am a sports junkie. That sports was my very first girlfriend, and we about to break the F up. We doing the trial separation. I still watch. I still read, so I got to be informed on my show on Tuesdays, but I don't get down like I used to. It ain't fun no more. It's just, I'm good at talking, as you hear. I'm good. I run my mouth as much as you allow me. So it's a lot of fun talking about it, but I missed it. But Booker McFarland sat out on TV and excoriated all brothers, most of the brothers in the National Football League. They are not worried about what they could do for football. They're worried about what football could do for them. You're damn right, because when football chew their ass up and spit them out, football don't come looking for you. Hey, man, I know we cut you last week, but do you want one of these? No, they don't do that. They did not do that. These schools don't do it. So, yeah. Now, had he pinpointed that, as the brother RC and the brother Big Illinois and a couple other people who brought it to my attention said, had he pinpointed that situation, then yes, he would have been right. But to say the NFL is 70% black, so it's most of these black dudes, not mentioning other white dudes who've been caught breaking and entering, writing fake prescriptions, beating on their girlfriends. You never hear about that. You got kickers, dudes who football players don't even consider them football players. They girls. No disrespect to women. They girls. They don't even practice with us. They practice on a whole nother field. They might as well be out there in that draws. Kickers whooping they women. White kicker whooped this woman at the Pro Bowl. Not only did he not get kicked out the league, he got a contract extension until it came out. And then, nobody said, and you say, look, you say domestic violence, everybody say Ray Rice. It's a kicker. After that Ray Rice situation, don't nobody talk about it. You're white boy. ESPN don't talk about it. Fox News don't talk about it. Bleacher Report don't talk about it. You got Doug Gottlieb talking about brothers need to get their act together. Brother, you got caught stealing credit cards. And you still on one of the biggest networks, got one of the biggest shows, and you getting paid top dollar, and you a thief. Because guess what? You were a brother who's playing big time college basketball, got drafted to the league, and you was still stealing. You a thief. You a thief. You were talking about somebody promoting their brand. You were stealing somebody's brand. You a thief, Doug Gottlieb. What? These people don't want that. Hey, how many thieves they got on ESPN that look like me and you? They don't. That's why I can't watch as much. Information purposes only. I have to read some of the stuff, but we got to stop criticizing, because the same things we go through, everybody else is going through, but I can't figure it out for the life of me why, no disrespect to the Latino community, why MS-13 ain't never on the news. Only time you hear about drug dealers that are not black is when, what's the boy, El Chapo escaped from federal jail. It's the only time you hear about it. And then you hear some of the most horrific numbers you ever heard in your life. He's part of a $50 billion a year situation. What? He's killing all these other drug dealers. Why don't I never hear this on TV? Because we busy arguing and pointing the finger and calling each other coons and niggas and thoughts and all this other stuff. Nah, man, we gotta cut that out. You gotta beef with somebody, call them and talk to them directly. Uplift the young brother. Booger, you're a grown man. Why ain't you Anthony McFarland that, man? The Booger thing probably stopped when he started when he was about 4 or 5. Why are you 45 and you still Booger, man? That's a problem, brother. You Anthony McFarland, brother. Knock it off, bro. The media is not your friend. We have to stop, man. We have to stop going to talk to these people, because you know what, man? If you're a brother, if you're a brother and you do an expo with Anthony McFarland, if you do an expo with Randy Moss, I'm just going to shake my head at you, brother, because they was on there knocking you. I'm not doing no interviews with none of those clowns on ESPN. And I don't want Anthony and Randy to get fired, but you need to have Jim Brown or one of these old Dr. J, one of these older brothers step to them, because obviously They are not mature enough to not destroy a brother right on TV. Why is it Shannon Sharp one of the few black men on TV that can say you did something wrong in a respectful manner without dragging you through the mud, man? These people at ESPN are not our friends. You know, homeboy Smith would have just acted a complete and utter fool. I'm anticipating him acting a fool. I'm gonna record it Monday because I know he charging his batteries for this Monday. He is charging his batteries for this. And they just destroyed their young brother's career. Hey, but you know what? My man RC said, not Jim Brown, not now. But guess what, man? Fun fact. Learn this from Eton Thomas, man. Community activist, former NBA player. Jim Brown went to the summit, the Muhammad Ali summit, to talk Muhammad Ali into going to the military. So this Jim Brown ain't really the different Jim Brown. It's one of the best kept secrets in sports. One of the best kept secrets in sports. That Jim Brown, he been that guy, man. He's been that guy, man. You know, he's done a lot of good activism and stuff like that, but check his resume. We need to check his pedigree, man. Jim Brown kind of shaky. And the fact that Jim Brown went on Arsenio Hall 25 years ago and took a dump on Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, came back 25 years later on a different Arsenio Hall show and took a dump on Kobe Bryant. Again, man, we all have different ways of doing things, but we don't have to stand in front of the world and disrespect anybody. You know, so I don't know. But this disrespecting people and echoing foolishness and it's a privilege to play in the league. No, it ain't. I worked my ass off to get into the National Football League, MLB, NBA, NHL, Major League Soccer, whatever athletic prowess I've perfected or enhanced or became one of the best in the world at. It ain't no privilege to put my mental state in jeopardy for the rest of my days. Yeah, but see the thing, we'll talk about it later, RC. You know how we get down. But it's just, man, we can't do it in public anymore. And again, like my man RC just put, Jim Brown consistently ripped OJ. But then that's the thing, man. What did that get him, man? OJ Simpson was going to be OJ Simpson. If OJ Simpson, we saw that kind of moment on the Boondocks. If you don't know, go to HBO Max and look at the Boondocks. It's called the N-word moment. Everybody going to get one, man. You got to sign up. Hey, man, look. I'm not the biggest Rolling Martin fan, but man, check out Rolling Martin news. I'm not the biggest fan, but at least he trying, man, or he pontificating and pretending that that's what he gonna do. So, man, but we gotta stop using the media as the outlet, these internet sites and stuff, as a way to getting our ideas out there, unless we putting a positive image out there. We got to get rid of the scuttlebutt. The scuttlebutt has to die, man. We're gonna let the scuttlebutt die in 2019, man. We have to, man. Some of my favorite people, man, got a straight gossip column going as they podcast. Miss me with that. Shout out to Noriega, man. He don't play those games, man. He don't play those games. He don't sit up and talk about people. Shout out to John Sally, because he was on one of the biggest, in my opinion, suspected white supremacist, Vlad from Vlad TV. He was on his show. Vlad kept trying to get him to bury Scottie Pippen and his wife and say bad things about him. John will continue to obfuscate and go into another direction. And I appreciate that, because it's not about, hey man, Scottie Pippen personal life. All I want to know about these guys is what their story is, what their trials and tribulations were, so we can introduce them to our younger people, even some of our older people our age, to inspire them to be better. Otherwise, I don't care who you slept with, who your mama sleeping with, who your wife sleeping with, how much money you got, how much money you blew through. I don't care about that. I really don't, because it's not enhancing us. Look, going forward, I'm gonna ask y'all. Shout out to Sister Karen Hunter again. And this is a question that she asks all the time. I forgot who she got it from, but I'm gonna ask y'all to stop. When you start hearing gossip from people, just ask this question as a favor to your boy HRap. How does that free us? Talking about this, how does that free us? And if they don't have an answer, then Cayete Bendejo. Shut up, stupid. We need leaders in our community. We need to do history. We need to be engaged, each and every one of us, and we need to start our children off engaging in these issues at the earliest age possible. There is no age too soon. We have to connect. At the end of the day, as a recap, we must make this a movement, not a moment. We must realize that we don't have many friends in this North American wilderness. We must engage with our ancestry, engage with our history, learn our ancestry, because that's what's going to propel us. Engage with somebody who is not from the United States community, a Caribbean person, somebody from that damn Gulf of Mexico. How about that? Central American, Panamanian, Dominican, Haitian, Rubian, where my man Stoker Car, Kwame Ture from. I can't think of the place he from. Wherever they from. When you look like an African, you need to engage with them, man. Because, and I don't want to hear about this foolishness, man. Brother, get over you before somebody. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Trinidad, that's where the brother from. Trinidad. Engage with that, man. Engage with your people in your community, man. Get in tune at the end of the day. With that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to say happy New Year. And what I'm about to play right here, man, is the most important part of the show. Again, man, if you haven't heard one word that I said, one single solitary word that I said, I want you to listen to this. I want to say thank you for tuning in to Build for This Network. Thank you for tuning in to the End of the Bench, Build and Destroy. I want to thank everybody in the background listening. I respect you. I honor you. And I appreciate you. I want to thank each and every person. But each and every person in the chat room, thank you for engaging with me. I really appreciate it. I want to tell y'all to engage with Raider Show tomorrow, D Great Show tomorrow night, number Chief Rocker Show Monday morning. Tuesday, I want you to engage with my man Microwave, then DJ Magnuts, then me, Joe, and Big Illinois, then Gigi and Mandela in the evening. Wednesday, engage with my man D Great again. Engage with my man D Goodell, and then my man Big Illinois. Re-engage with DJ Mad Knox Thursday. Number one Chief Rock again Thursday morning. DJ Mad Knox Thursday evening, and me and D Great Thursday night. And then DJ Mad Knox and Big Illinois come back Friday. Me and Purplelicious come back Saturday, 168 hours from now. We're going to burn it down. Thank y'all for the support. And as always, let's send respect to Combat Jack, a.k.a. Reggie O'Shea, former entertainment lawyer, one of the people who laid the foundation for this whole podcast. Get down. Reggie O'Shea, Combat Jack. And I steal his ending to his show, which is Dream Those Dreams and Man Up and Woman Up and Live Those Dreams. What's life without dreams flows in black or white, life with dreams. Flows in Technicolor surround sound. Thank you for tuning in. It's not over yet. I need 11 minutes, 29 more seconds here. I need 11 minutes, 12 minutes of your time for the rest of your evening. Please continue to listen to this. It's your man HRap, as I say every week.
Good evening, family.
I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. Welcome to the Black Excellence and Abundance Channel. Many of us know of the great historic community of Black Wall Street that was located in Greensboro, Oklahoma. However, what many of us may not know is that there were several other towns throughout the country that exhibited Black excellence and financial independence. Because of the segregation and the Jim Crow that existed during that time, Black communities thrived on their own. Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma is one of the most well-known. Well, today, we're going to look at several other Black communities that thrived during that time. These communities had their own school systems, banks, economies, hospitals, police. They had all the amenities of that day, and these communities wanted for nothing. The first one that we will be looking at today is the town of Rosewood in Florida. Most of us are familiar with the massacres. Well, here on the Black Excellence and Abundance channel, we are not going to focus on the destruction of these communities. We are going to focus on the excellence and the abundance in those communities. The city of Rosewood was known for being a clean, quiet, self-sufficient black neighborhood. The economy was mainly drawn from the timber industry, as cedar wood was used to make pencils, which helped the economy thrive. By the year 1920, the residents of Rosewood were mostly self-sufficient. They had 3 churches, a school, a large Masonic hall, a turpentine mill, a sugarcane mill, a baseball team named the Rosewood Stars, and 2 general stores. The village had about a dozen 2-story wooden plank homes, other small 2-room houses, and several small unoccupied plank farm and storage structures. Some families owned pianos, organs, and other symbols of middle-class prosperity. Rosewood is remembered by the survivors as an independent, thriving, happy place. The next thriving community that we will be looking at is a community called Slocum in Texas. Slocum, Texas was part of the East Texas oil field, which remains one of the largest ever in the continental United States, encompassing 5 counties. Unlike most Texas communities in the early 20th century, the unincorporated town of Slocum, like Rosewood, Florida, was largely African American, with several black citizens having owned considerable amount of property. The residents owned many stores and other local businesses. Have you ever heard of Central Park? Perhaps the most famous park in the world, located in Manhattan, in New York City? Well, prior to becoming Central Park, this was a black community known as Seneca Village. Seneca Village was founded in 1825 when Epiphany Davis and Andrew Williams became the first African Americans to buy land in the area. Trustees of the AME Zion Church then purchased 8 plots of land close by. The dwellings ranged from 1-room houses to 3-story houses made of wood and brick. The town also featured 3 churches and a schoolhouse. According to the Central Park Conservancy, an 1855 census showed 250 residents living in Seneca Village, with 70 homes built. After a history of just 32 years, the end of the town came when the New York State legislature used eminent domain to seize the occupied land and built what is now Central Park. A town of first. North Brentwood, Maryland, incorporated in 1924. North Brentwood was Prince George's County's first African-American municipality. North Brentwood became a politically and economically sufficient town, boasting its own government, businesses, and religious institutions. It was home to 800 people by the year 1930, according to the North Brentwood Directory. The city was occasionally flooded after heavy rains, but a levee was finally built by the United States Army Corps of Engineers in the 1950s. It still exists today, with a population of 517, according to the recent census. Another town that's still in existence today is called Weeksville, New York. Although not known by that name, the name that you may recognize is Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. And I must admit, it's my hometown. It's where I was born, where I grew up. Weeksville was formed in 1838 by a black freedman named James Weeks after he purchased a large amount of land from Henry C. Thompson, another free black man. The town, located in what is now the Bedford-Stuyvesant region of Brooklyn, New York, became the second largest community for free blacks in the pre-Civil War era. It also became a safe haven for blacks fleeing slavery in the South and a refuge for northern blacks trying to get away from racial turmoil and violence in other parts of the country. Weeksville was known for employing black professionals and allowed them to hone their skills and build clientele. Schools, churches, a home for the elderly, and an orphanage were set up in the town as well. It even had its own newspaper.
In this picture, we see St. John's Church, established in 1868. This church is still in existence today in the same spot. Brooklyn, by the way, is known as the borough of churches. Now, the town of Mount Bayou, Mississippi, was known as the Land of Promise, an all-black town located in Yazoo Delta of northwest Mississippi.
Established in 1887 by Isaiah Montgomery and 12 other pioneers, the town was considered a new land of promise for black Americans. According to blackpast.org, an online reference guide to African American history, this promise included self-help, race pride, economic opportunity, and social justice. The community was also self-segregated, which limited interaction with whites until integration was an option. Mount Bayou had a post office, 6 churches, a bank, and countless public and private schools. Through its newspaper, The Demonstrator, the town pushed the importance of education. The community continued to thrive and boasted a population of 8,000 by the year 1911. The town still exists today.
The city on the move. Glenarden, Maryland. Glenarden got its start in 1910 when a black man named W.L. Smith purchased multiple tracts of land and formed a residential community of about 15 people.
The small town built near the Washington, Baltimore, and Annapolis Electric Railway flourished over the next 3 decades and developed into a middle-class suburban neighborhood. A 2-room schoolhouse and the St. Joseph's Catholic Church were constructed in 1922. The community then petitioned the state legislature for incorporation as the town of Glenarden, according to the City of Glenarden's official website. The charter was approved on March 30th, 1939, making it the 3rd predominantly African-American organized town in the state of Maryland. By the late 1940s, there were 51 houses in the area, along with a post office, barbershops, 2 restaurants, a dry cleaner, and a gas station. The name of the community was also changed from the town of Glenarden to the city of Glenarden in April 1994.
Lastly, but certainly not least, is the town known as the Black Ghost Town, Blackton, New Mexico. This modest town of Blackton was founded by Frank Boyer and Ella Louise Magruder.
It was the first all-black settlement in the New Mexico Territory. By 1908, Blackton was home to approximately 300 residents and 25 families. Altogether, these families owned about 15,000 acres of land. The town was complete with a blacksmith shop, post office, hotel, and the Blackton Baptist Church, which doubled as a schoolhouse. Cotton, onions, sugar, beets, and cantaloupe were among many crops grown on the land. Of all the towns on our list, this is the westernmost town, as it was located in New Mexico.
In addition to the most famous of them all, Greenwood, Oklahoma, known as Black Wall Street, there were several other thriving black communities. Communities like Black Dome, New Mexico, Boyle, Oklahoma, Fort Most, Florida, and several others. All 100% self-sufficient, thriving black communities. Yes, folks, these communities were self-contained, thriving black people who just simply mind their own business. There's no telling the wealth that these communities would have had to this day had they simply just been left alone. The Black Excellence and Abundance Channel, where Black history is.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, thou art rich.
We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.